Whenever I have photographed animals in the past, it has never been a planned session. It has always been what I called chance encounters. Me and the animal just look at each other, both very surprised, and then one of us bolts off. Usually it's the animal, but one time I met a really scary golden plover. These encounters, while very exciting and memorable, seldom makes for good photographs. I mean, I do get lucky now and again, but to produce such a body of work that my fellow photographers on this trip has done in the past, it does require a bit more planning and patience. Luckily for me, my friends have been down this road before and know exactly what to do. Myself, I'm eager to learn and very excited that I'm about to have a close encounter with one of Norway's most intriguing animals. Truls, Clifford, Trond and myself are still up in Dovrefjell. We are still planning to photograph musk ox, and it is still cold. Just before we parked our car, we had photographed an hawk owl, and if you missed the episode prior to this one, you can see it right here. This is Winter in Norway, episode 4, Dovrefjell part 2. I hope you enjoy my little tale.
Yes, and then we're finally on our way up towards into musk ox country. Right behind me now, you can see here. You could almost think that I timed that, because I was going to talk about that this is the railroad that runs through Dovre, and it was back in 1913 that some workers on the railroad found fossils of the musk ox, and then the idea was born to bring back the musk ox into Dovre. And they tried many times, but I think it was in 1947 when the population stayed and it survived, and it's been gradually the same. I think it's around 200 animals at this point, and it's not unusual to head into these parts to find the musk ox. But myself, I've never seen one, so this is the first time for me, so I'm really looking forward to it. Looky here. We've been following the tracks now for quite some time, and I do believe we're about to find them. This is very exciting. According to Trond, the musk ox were here a couple of days ago, and if you look behind them, there's a mountain called Snøhetta, which actually is Norway's highest mountain outside the Jotunheimen region. And for a long time, the folks in Norway believed Snøhetta to be the highest mountain in Norway. It's 2,286 meters. So they had this oath they took back in 1814 when they got sworn in as statesmen. They said enige og tro til Dovre faller, which kind of means we're gonna stay steadfast until the end of times. But no musk ox here, so we have to continue our search, I guess. Looks like a new feeding ground. They've been here as well, but moved on. So here's the situation. We're burning daylight now, and the muskox are on the other side of the valley. They moved, so they're going to be there tomorrow, almost 100% guaranteed. So we're going to head back, and tomorrow morning we're going to head up to the other side of the valley, fresh and rested, and photograph the muskox. We were really close today, but this only builds anticipation for tomorrow.
Hello everyone and good morning. Yesterday evening before I went to bed, I went through some of the videos which I filmed on my phone, the parts where I talked to the camera, and then I realized that most of those clips, not all fortunately, but most of them sadly don't have any sound. And I think that's because of the biting cold and the microphone not working together. So there's nothing to do about it. I will do my best to piece the story from Dovrefjell together with voiceover.
Smooth voiceover.
Not yet, buddy. And hopefully that will do the trick.
Fortunately, I usually film both in English and in Norwegian for my television series. And in the part you're about to see, my microphone didn't work while I was talking in English. But for whatever reason, it suddenly started working while I was filming in Norwegian. So I'll use that bit and just subtitle it for you. And who knows, maybe you'll pick up some Norwegian while you watch it.
Her haukugla, så kjørte vi forbi de to trærne som vi står og ser på her. Og da tenkte jeg med meg selv at de to kan se fantastisk flott ut før sola kommer opp i det der kalde, blå morgenlyset. Så jeg gikk ut, kledd på meg litt grann, og så har jeg fotografert de to bjørkestammene. Jeg synes det ble skikkelig fint. Og en god start på dagen. De tror det er ganske mye varmere enn det var i går. Jeg tror vi ligger opp mot minus 19-18. Men jeg er ikke helt sikker, for jeg har ikke sjekket ennå. Men som dere kan se, så har det kommet noen skyer på himmelen, og det gjør luften litt mer fuktig, så det gjør at det føles litt kaldere. At når jeg tar på fotostativet, så klistrer votten seg fast, og liksom sånn var det ikke i går. Så det føles fremdeles ganske kaldt, men i teorien så tror jeg det er varmere. Men jeg skal filme temperaturmåleren i bilen, så kan dere få se om jeg snakker sant eller ei. I dag så er planen ganske lik som i går. Vi skal begynne med frokost selvfølgelig, og så skal vi kjøre og fotografere moskus. Tingen er at denne gangen så vet vi nøyaktig hvor de er, så da kommer vi høyst sannsynlig, fingrene i kryssene her, til å finne dem.
For me, there's a shift in perspective in the hours leading up to where you go from having read and seen videos about something to actually be on your way to experience it for yourself. And for years now, I have been watching and reading about the muskox up in Dovrefjell, and then suddenly, here,
I was. And even though documenting the journey the way I do often separates and sometimes takes you away from the here and now, making you almost a bystander, it never fully does. Because when I'm looking back at the footage, I can see it in my eyes. The anticipation. I have never regretted documenting a journey, but I still find it important to sometimes ask myself why I do it. The obvious answer, of course, is that it is my livelihood, but there are also bigger reasons. Editing the story afterwards makes me experience the journey a second time. It forces me to relive the days of camaraderie, to go back and remember that I had overdressed for the way up and that the sweat froze to ice underneath my jacket during a 3-minute break. I remember really understanding the difference between 100% wool and 60% wool. And trust me, always go full wool. And I remember seeing a musk ox for the first time. And it was magnificent.
Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi, oi.
Some people keep journals. I keep 42 terabytes of video clips. After a short hike through the birch trees, we finally made our way into open landscape. Seeing the snow-covered mountains, pristine and almost untouched, I always feel like I'm coming home. Except this time. I was not coming home. I was entering someone else's home. I was entering the domain of Norway's coolest and hairiest goat. And I needed to show some respect. This is it. The musk ox is just up there, a couple of 100 meters. But before I get up there, I just need to stop and gather my thoughts for a bit. This is the first time I see musk ox, and it's a big deal for me. It's something I dreamt about, and it's about to happen. Just a couple of 100 meters up there. I'm in the middle of Dovrefjell National Park. The sun is up, it's warming. Just a bit, it's about minus 16, 17, 18 degrees. It's absolutely beautiful. It's peaceful. It's almost no wind. And this moment is pretty huge for me. So I just wanted to stop here and savor it. I'm a little bit nervous, but mostly happy. These clips are my first real glimpse of the musk ox. Earlier it had all been from very far away, and at this very moment we are maybe 350 meters away from the animals, and they know that we are here. And this is kind of the point. We have stopped here to let the musk ox get used to us, and at the same time grab something to eat and a cup of coffee. This way, in a few hours, we will be able to move closer without stressing the animals. And this is important. At these extreme temperatures, the musk ox have enough on their plate without adding 4 annoying photographers to the list. We are on their ground and they set the rules. At the same time, standing still and waiting for hours would not be a viable option for us. We had to constantly keep moving due to the biting cold. Therefore, we planned a route we could take which would take us past the animals and up behind them without getting too close, always making sure that the animals were comfortable with us being there and that they had the possibility to move away freely if they wanted to. We came over the mountain just as the sun set. There was this beautiful light covering the valley and it lit up the mountains in the background. A couple of days prior to this, I had a chat with Trond about what kind of photographs I was hoping to capture while I was on this trip. I told him that I would be a really happy man if I had a beautiful picture of maybe Snøhetta, the tallest peak around here, in the background, beautiful light, and just a not so large musk ox, but just musk ox in the foreground. That would be. And to my astonishment, I got what I wished for, or at least very, very close to it. The mountains in the background were perfectly lit, and I was in the right position at the right distance. The only thing I would change would be to have the animals a bit further up the hill towards me. But as for my first day photographing muskox, I was over the moon. sun has set and the muskox are laying down. It's getting darker and darker and we need to head back before it gets too dark. It's much too dark to do any photography now. But what an incredible experience. I got some beautiful pictures of the muskox and the mountain range behind it. It was almost a picture I dreamt about when walking up here and I saw that mountain range. If only they had been a couple of meters up on the hills. I'm not complaining at all. This was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And cold. I shall not sugarcoat it. It's been cold.
Join in.
Okay.
Triple image.
Yeah. Is this
All right, lads. How's
Yeah.
the day been?
pretty good?
Yeah, it was.
It's been a lot of work, but I mean, I think we got something good in the end. I at least hope so.
We have to find out when I put it on the computer, but
Yeah.
I don't have any high hopes. But I think I got some images that I can use. But
Yeah.
There's no way to be sure because my viewfinder has fogged up. So I can't look
Yeah.
for the camera.
The camera is actually
There's no way
looks
to
like-
tell if it's sharp or not.
no.
I was cold today, a bit of a test day.
Yeah.
Your hand got stuck to the camera.
Yeah, I did. I was trying to put it back in the bag. I can't really see it, but it got stuck to the camera.
It's dinner time.
It's dinner
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
Time for food.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. All right, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.